Hello, hello. Welcome to the Backyard interview series. Today, we have two very, very special guests. Actually, I'm the guest in their home, their beautiful home. We have Valade and Miss Gabriela Sepulveda. All right. I've been waiting for this for so long. These two artists are so amazing, such just great people, and really like a power couple, right? Like you guys, you try. But yeah, just tell us who you are, where you're from, and what you're about.
All right, I guess I'm telling us who we are and what we're about, since all the heads are directed at me. Yeah. So I'm Gabby, or the Ivory Bunny, or Gary with a B, or all the things. And we are...
Make sure you lift up the mic to your...
Sorry, my bad.
You're good.
I have this tendency of getting really close, and then I know that I project. And sometimes when I project, it's like...
Yeah, it's completely fine.
Fun lesson.
Okay.
I learned that one while I was working at a painting with a twist or something like that. They could hear me all the way in the other room, and they're like, "You don't need the microphone." Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so I'm a working artist. I'm from Puerto Rico, and then I moved to Springfield because I met that guy online. Mm-hmm. And Valade is a local Springfield cartoonist. And we've just kind of ventured on this our creative journey together and are kind of playing it by ear successfully. So like we're failing upwards, definitely, but
sounds like an artist.
Yeah, no, we're going according to plan. The schedule's going exactly how it's supposed to go.
And you guys are doing so much. You were just talking about how you went to Indie Comic Con. Yeah. Is it Indie Comic Con? Indie Comic Creator Con. There you go.
IC3 for short.
Mm-hmm. I see three, and you. What else have you guys been doing recently together as a power couple?
Have you read Soot and Sprinkles? Do you get Soot and Sprinkles?
I do. I am subscribed to the newsletter. I haven't checked it out in a little bit. I'm terrible.
You should.
But
you should.
Come on.
No, but for real, you should.
Vlad, tell us a little bit about Soot and Sprinkles.
I'm Soot, he's Sprinkles, obviously.
That makes sense. We got Sprinkles and Soot over here. Soot, tell us about Soot and Sprinkles.
Soot and Sprinkles is a monthly magazine that we put together for free once a month that we give out digitally for free. Averages about 30 pages a month, and it's basically about us and our, I guess for lack of a better term, our journey through beginning stages of our art career. So it's kind of like a personal time capsule of everything we have done since we started trying to do this full time. And it's awesome, and I love making it. She loves making it, and it's just the two of us, but it's really cool.
It's funny. It's one of those things that ends up being that, by the end of it, it's like, can you believe that we make this by ourselves? There are whole teams that are used to produce these, and we do it by ourselves. That's awesome.
It is awesome.
It is awesome. I'm very proud of that thing. And it started off as a simple little newsletter that Gabby started to help promote her muralism and her career and what she was doing. And then she invited me on to do a cartoon strip, which was The Little Things. And then that turned into her asking me to do you want to do an article or something? And next thing you know, it's, it goes from 3 pages to 6 pages to 8 pages. All of a sudden, it's 12 pages. And then some crazy stuff happens, and we have more things to talk about. And next thing you know, we had one that, I think we did an end-of-year issue that cracked 40 pages. We had to break the file up into 2 separate downloads because we just went all in. And that's when I officially said, honey, we're turning this newsletter into a magazine, because it reads and feels like a magazine, and no newsletter that I've ever gotten from anybody on the internet has ever looked anything remotely close to this. This is just a free digital magazine. So we rebranded last June.
Yeah.
To Soot and Sprinkles officially, and
in place of The Little Things.
In place of just calling it the Ivory Bunny newsletter, it became Soot and Sprinkles magazine. And now we've done almost, next month will be a full I believe next month's a full 12 months of Soot and Sprinkles as a magazine with covers and everything. And the other day she went just for fun and printed all of them out in physical magazine size form so we could see what they look like in print.
Is this like the first wave of fully printed Soot and Sprinkles magazines?
That wasn't my intention when I printed them. When I printed them, my intention was, because I tend to forget the work that I do. Because we do so much throughout the year that you don't even realize. You're like, oh shit, no, that was in January. Oh, when did this happen? No, that was 2 years ago. No, that was in February. So I forget that because that magazine is digital, it's easy to forget it, because after I send it, it's like there's no party, there's not even a physical item left to be like, we did this.
You kind of post and ghost and you forget all about it.
You post and ghost yourself.
There's like a disconnect there.
Yeah, well, most definitely. I didn't realize it until he was like, you have to print them. So the first thing that happened was that for the con, so you know how you have the newsletter list, the sign up for the newsletter, put your email. My pitch used to be like, so I made these for the con because my pitch used to be like, so sign up for our magazine. It's kind of like a newsletter, but it's not a newsletter. It's a magazine. So this is what arrives in your email. Like, it was a terrible freaking pitch. It was a terrible pitch.
Well, we're artists, not businessmen, right?
Exactly. So I printed these out for the show so that I could be like, what you're seeing here is what you will be getting for free in your email. The problem with this was that they would be like, oh, this is what I'm getting, and I'm like, no, this is what you're getting in your email, not in your mailbox.
Physical magazine.
In your email.
Yeah, it must be hard to do it through email, like we said, with that disconnect. Like, so how many people really look through their email like that?
So on it, like, it's really, really cool. So you can actually see the numbers of the magazine, of the people who have opened the magazine, of the people that, and I get messages from people that look forward, because when you have your moments of like, well, who even cares? Because that's how we got noticed that there was interest in a physical form of this magazine, was people wanted these littles, and then I printed the larger ones for us to see, and we were like, oh no, they look so good.
Cool.
This is really game changing.
Would you mind if I showed the camera?
No, go for it. Actually, you should find the larger ones too.
Yeah, I'll bring out the larger ones.
This is the first edition of Soot and Sprinkles, like printed out.
Little experimental samples to give people an idea of what they would get.
Those are beautiful.
Thank you.
And now we have a stack of 12 of them in full magazine size form that we made.
And now I don't want to stop printing. It's addicting. It's really addicting.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's fun having the physical copies of something that you've made, whether it's the comics, where I started doing this was just hits different. Having that record of everything we've accomplished, the people, the friends, the community, all the stuff that we talk about, showcasing local stuff, and it's so fun. And then getting the physical version of it really made like something kind of click.
It connected with some neurons in your brain.
I only wanted to print them initially so that we could have them in our archives, so that every month when we're doing a new issue, we could know what we did, and if I was taking pictures, people would know, look at the work we have accomplished. And now it's just like, okay, can we do this?
So, like, because it is what we like and what we're experiencing, like in the sections that are the not so secret spotlights and our favorite things, we'll spotlight things like either places in Springfield where I've done murals, or Monsoon gets into the spotlight a lot, like the Food Brood gets into the spotlight a lot.
Shout out to the Urban Food Brood.
Shout out to the Urban Food Brood. And we spotlight our comics community, our artist community. Like, I think Paris was spotlighted in one of the issues because they had just dropped their new record. Go listen to Paris's new record.
Richard Paris Scott, check it out.
And it's definitely a labor of love. It's funny because it's like you have you stress out about it, and you're like, I'm doing this for free, who cares? And then you have that random person that comes up to you and it's like, oh, I see what you're doing, like, it's really cool, like what you're doing is really cool, and I'm paying attention. I'm like, oh, okay, people are paying attention.
Which we found out at the convention the other weekend, because we had multiple people that had already signed up that brought up their enjoyment of it and how they liked how it looked, and both of us were both literally just kind of dumbfounded, like,
You're like,
oh,
you read the magazine?
Mm-hmm.
like, you're not one of the people I was expecting to come up that I know. It was just like, you're like one of those emails that I may not recognize who it is. And I was like, oh shit.
Kind of like faceless, but until you really see them in
Yeah,
front
and
of you.
you're like, wait, you actually read this? Like, oh my god, like, that is really cool. Like, we had people that we like admire and respect a lot say that they read and enjoyed it, and that was like,
And that's always such a great feeling, huh? When like there's someone that you respect really
because
saying
it
like,
really is just about the two of us. It is only what we like, what we have to say, and
people find that interesting.
yeah, it's
not saying that I know. It's cool.
I guess that's exactly how we feel. We're just like, who? What?
Yeah.
Art.
Like, I know
Who
that
cares about our life?
there's other people that if they did it, we would care about, but it's hard to figure that somebody would think that about yourself.
I was in the live stream yesterday, and
What live stream?
I am on Power to the Panel 5 days a week at 8:00 p.m. on YouTube.
Yes, powertothepanel.com.
As like a co-host or?
Yep.
Yeah, I am a co-host. I am co-host to Brian Christopher Moss. And it is a live show, and we banter, and we talk about everything from making comics. We look through comics and life, making art,
teaching new people in the community
how to break into the art business, teaching how to draw, how to publish, whatever questions they have. We try to answer to the best of our abilities.
Yeah, basically an arts, comics, and learning kind of environment, very positive environment.
Yeah, and it's really cool because we have artists of all different types, like even musicians that are in there, and so there is kind of advice for everybody.
Shout out to our boy Danny Bedrosian.
Woo!
Danny Prigozhin? You say Prigozhin?
Bedrosian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nah, you're good.
I got a question.
Shoot for them.
So that what you just described is your community, right? Like being able to come to this space 5 days a week and talk to the same people where you support each other, you support the people that are watching. Timber, you cutie.
We've brought people from the YouTube community that were not a part of our Instagram community or any of the things that we had, initially started, just came through the YouTube. Younger kids, just new generations of people coming in interested in comics and finding like this cool small group of people that are very positive and pushing them to try, and then all of a sudden they're a month goes by and they're in one of our projects and they're in print for the first time. They're just like,
it's really weird. You mentioned the facelessness thing going on because we were at the Indie Comics Creator Con, and so we're running into a lot of people that they're like, hey, I'm Jamie, or I'm this person, and we're like, what's your handle? They're like, oh, I'm this person. I'm Dracula. I'm this and it's like, oh, I know who you are, but you like, I don't know what you look like. So that's been like a very interesting thing to navigate. But it's funny because this is like one of many communities that we're kind of juggling and navigating through. You know what I mean? There's not just the one, there's this weird internet one, but then there's the Springfield arts one too, and then there's the music one, and then there's like, we're puddle jumpers, that.
And that's completely fine. Yeah. More of like a general question. How do you guys, do you guys think that, because I'm of the firm belief that every artist should be a part of a community, not like keep to themselves, right? Because we get inspiration from each other. We're always just interacting with each other. We're able to come up with new ideas for our own art. So how important would you guys say it is to be a part of a community, to have like a kind of, maybe not a tribe, but just like people to support you as an artist particularly?
Firstly, no one's gonna find you in your basement. Like, no one's going to find you in your studio. No one's going to discover you if you don't leave your house or if you don't actually put yourself out there. So you do have to go out and put yourself out there. And I've been...
Is the reason for...
All right, we're back. Technical difficulties. So we were talking about, being part of a community. You said that it's important not to, just put yourself out there, actually show up, right? So if you want to say a few things about that.
Yes, it is important to show up. It is important to put yourself out there. And even though it's nerve-wracking at first, I've been telling this a lot to my friends. Artists come up as movements. They don't come up on their own. So that is why having a community is important. You can't form a movement by yourself.
I find being around people overrated.
That's real.
I'm a very solitary artist and individual and human being. I do not like socializing. I do not like being around people. I tend to have built my community initially through the internet, where I felt a bit safer because you can I have the opportunity to think before I speak. I can plan out and make sure I'm asking right questions or not looking like a fool, versus in person. Like right now, I can just randomly stumble or say something that I may not have wanted to say or look foolish. So I've always been very hesitant with the whole social aspect. And again, like, always found it very overrated, and I don't want it. And I'm an artist. I can do this shit on my own. And then I met Gabby, and, well, that kind of changed everything. Because she is a very social creature and really good at it.
So do you feel like you might have learned a lot from her? I've
learned that I still hate it. But it's worth doing at least a couple times a year. In my case, it's okay, and it's important to have relationships with people, even if it's just a few, because you definitely need that for encouragement. You need it for people to keep you from being a lazy SOB, to help you get things done and help you be motivated. Gabby does that very well for me, and then in return, the community that we've found ourselves surrounded by are all very uplifting people. Like, they want to just see everybody succeed, and in turn, you want to see them succeed, and you want to be there for them when you need it, when they need you, and vice versa. And when that happens organically, it is immense and it's incredible. When it's forced, that's what I always dealt with before, and that's why I felt like I hated it so much. When it's not forced and it happens kind of naturally, it's definitely feels worth it.
Well, that's
and
when
now
you know
I do like 2 whole conventions a year.
Look at you go!
I was doing, 0. I didn't leave my house for months on end.
That's amazing.
There
you go.
Like, it's benefited you at least in life.
It has definitely benefited sales of books, because people see you and then they're like, oh, okay, this dude isn't totally like weird, and he seems kind of okay, and I kind of like his art, so maybe I'll support this product that they have because I kind of dig these people. And I've noticed that most of the stuff that I support, especially on an indie level, is because I really like the person and I want to see what they have to say. And because of that, I will support their work. Versus, the corporate stuff that you're just like, I like the art, or I like how this, but you don't really care. You're just kind of going through the motions. Whereas with actual community of artists, I'll put it on the record. I cannot stand in the terms of comics. I can't stand the term industry. I hate comic industry. We have a comic community. That's what we make comics for. That's who we make comics with. And that's what we want to help foster is community. And that coming from me is insane, by the way. But you live and you learn as you get older. And it's definitely worked. It worked positive. As somebody who suffers from depression and severe anxiety and things of that nature, I've not dealt with it so much in the last couple years versus like many years prior. So I think the community and the doing what we do helped a lot, for sure.
And I think you're doing a fantastic job. It does. Art heals. Put that on a t-shirt.
Not even trying to be corny, but that stuff is it's legit.
Does.
There is a reason there is a spike in mental illness. I mean, with the cutting of arts programs and the cutting of the arts in schools and everything, and like not seeing it as important. It's not like not everybody has to become an artist, but creating art is something innately human, and it's therapeutic for every single one of us. So the cutting of music programs or any sort of arts like fomentation thing has created an increase in mental illness in our country, and it's like it's measurable. You can go online and find the numbers. And you saying art heals and art therapy programs succeeding and stuff like that, it just proves how important art is to everybody to find a creative outlet.
But consuming it and enjoying it and appreciating. You don't have to make art in order to appreciate and love the methods and what it takes for the artist to make that art in the first place. You know,
you don't have to play an instrument to enjoy music.
Exactly.
Well, how boring would life be without art, right? Like we don't have any of our movies, music, none of that.
I'm saying, and when you find like a good song that gets in you, and you're like, oh my God, I got it, it's in my spirit, like, or when you look at there have been paintings that just make you emotional, or you read a really good piece of literature. It doesn't matter what the art is. It needs to be done. And there needs to be more of it. Read
books.
We read.
I need to do more of that.
All of you.
Yeah, you're like, I'm ignoring
all
that.
Of you.
Read comics.
Please. Read comics. Read your newspaper.
Magazines.
Read your local. Just read everything.
News, like papers, like prose. Read comics. It's mostly drawings anyway. Like there's, oh my God, one of my favorite comic books that we have, it's like Choose Home or whatever. I think the entire book is this big, and it has a grand total of 5 words, and I think the words are mew.
Yeah.
Because it's like a cat's adventure, and I'm like, this is the best book I've ever read. It counts.
It does count.
What would you say to people trying to start off their own creative projects, but might have trouble, getting that initial push? Like, I've talked to you plenty of times about making my own comic book.
Oh yeah, I was about to bring that up immediately.
Yeah. I haven't made the
I know you
the comic
haven't.
just yet, and I know you're telling me just do it. Just do it. Is that
I already knew what I was gonna say before you finished this.
It's easier said than done.
Is it really that simple? Just doing it.
It really is that simple. I don't want to swear, so I'm gonna try to be like. But I get very passionate about this. You just have to make the thing. If you draw, if you have an idea for a comic, and you've never done a comic book before in your life, your comic is gonna suck. It is not gonna be good. It is not gonna win awards. It is not gonna. Nobody's gonna care. And because of that, that's why you should do it. You need to just get it out of your system.
That may sound harsh, but it's liberating.
But it's true.
That's the reason that's the true reason you're not making the comic. It's because you're afraid of sucking. You want it to be good on the first bat. You want to be.
It's just unrealistic.
It is.
It is. And the reason you have to make the comic is that it's better for you to suck until you get that really good story. And by then you've improved so much, because you improve panel by panel. You improve really fast.
Think about anything that you do. Let's say you what are you, 16, you get your license, you drive a car. Are you a NASCAR racer the first time you get behind the wheel of the car? No. It takes experience and time to get good at it. That's art. That's comics. Nothing, especially comics. Comics are effing hard. Like, one of the hardest things to do is to tell a sequential story and do it, quote unquote, well. But that shouldn't stop you from doing it. Like, it really is as simple as just do it. If you have images in your head, draw them, write them, make crappy comics, because you're gonna get better the next time.
A piece of advice that you could probably hold on to or latch on to is, if the project itself seems daunting, make it into a bite-sized chunk. Don't think of it as, I am making a comic. today I'm penciling a thumbnail of a page. Yeah. And then that thumbnail might get you into like, okay, let me lay it out. And just start with something smaller that is not as overwhelming as a 32-page novella.
Yeah, have an appetizer first. You know, treat yourself with some snacks. Do it consistently. But if you're somebody who's out there is like, I want to make a comic, you need to make the comic, because a year is going to go by and then you're going to have the same conversation. I want to. Well, if you wanted to, you'd have made it already. Like, if you want a snack and there's something in the fridge, you're going to go and you're going to grab it. You're not going to sit there and be like, well, you know, it's I have to get up and stuff. You know, it's crazy. But you got to.
The way we do the 24-hour comics is that we have about 20-something to 30-something artists. Like, can range 20-something and the 30. Everybody does a page. Everybody commits to one page within 24 hours. And by the end of those 24 hours, you have a book.
Yep.
And that's how you should take on comics. Start on a page. You don't have to start with your supreme comic. He started with strips.
Yeah. Start off with just, this was a little, like, my first full comic was like 12 pages. The strips are 4-panel strips I did once a month. It's, think about it in terms of, if you did a panel a day, you know, you might end up with a page in a week. And if you do that 5 days a week, in a month, you're going to have 4 pages. In a couple months, you're going to, you know, at the end of a year, you're going to have a comic book. It may not be the greatest comic book, but that last panel is going to be so much better than the first panel.
Yeah.
My favorite comic of all time was Poison Elves by Drew Hayes. This dude never drew a comic before. He just took his D&D character and that was retired and said, I want to continue this character story, so I'm going to write my own. And he just started drawing. He drew it wrong size, didn't know what he was doing, but he just did it. It's really rough. It's really gritty. It's raw, and it's not the greatest. But he ended up doing 100 issues in the long run. Wow. And by the time he got 20 issues in, it was so much better than the first few. It is incredible leaps, because he is just kept going, and you don't look back.
It's really just consistency and baby steps. That's all you really need.
And you have to want to do it.
And also, so much is ourselves getting in our own way. We get in our own heads. When I first moved up, I'm telling the story. When I first moved up, I had packaged a lot of my art supplies, but not all of them. And I always had access to art supplies before. And for the first time ever, I found myself, and I couldn't paint because I didn't have certain canvases or certain supplies or something like that. And at that particular moment in time, we couldn't afford them. We're in different means. And I'm just going over and over again, like, oh my God, I want to paint so bad. Like, I feel it. Like, oh my God, I'm so annoyed.
I want to make art so bad.
I want to make art so bad, and I can't because I don't have my supplies. And at this point, he's feeling all the feelings. He's feeling guilt because I've moved from Puerto Rico to be with him. He's just annoyed that I keep repeating this and he can't do anything, and he grabs the number 2 pencil and throws it in front of me and says, if you can't make art with a paper and a pencil, you shouldn't call yourself an artist. And I took that to heart. I seriously took that to heart, and it's true, because I know so many artists that I'm like, oh, well, I can't do that because I don't have this specific clay or this specific thing. You know what? You may not be able to do it exactly how you envision it, but that doesn't mean that should stop you from doing X, Y, Z. You can pivot. There are other things that you can do. The materials are aplenty.
Yeah. And I feel like when you're limited in that, so you create even better art, because you see what you have in front of you. You use these tools, like just a pencil and paper, and you use those tools to make the most out of them.
Yeah,
it's so important.
Creative. Everybody has a box of crayons in their house. Everybody has colored pencils. Like, you may not have the entire box set, but I'm sure you have at least 3 rando colored pencils. Well, everyone has a green somewhere and an orange. It's like the 2 colors you use the least, but everyone has them somewhere in the whatever. But you can get really creative.
Yeah. You can make art out of anything.
Do it with, you don't have to have a lot of money. You can grab a dollar pencil or something. like that, and just let some stuff out.
Yeah, no, art materials are so expensive. So, at the end of the day, just work with what you got.
Exactly.
Yeah, so many of our materials have been donated or recycled.
I've drawn stuff on cardboard.
Man, I keep believing like some of my markers are gonna come back to life. So I have like an entire bag of dead markers
that you think might have a little.
Well, yeah, you're just like,
because
well,
you never
one
know
day.
when you're gonna be like, oh, what if I need something, and it's just like, well, this is a little something left in it.
Or that lie you tell yourself, it's for texture.
Yeah, that's
it never looks good.
You're just like grown attached to these art materials. Don't want to let them go. I get that. I get that.
It's horrible.
I have this fabric paint that I haven't used, and I've used it to paint like one pair of jeans, and I haven't used ever again. But I'm gonna go back to them one day. I will. I will.
Still have my very first. It's taped up and busted, but I still have the very first pencil, like professional pencil, I bought at Johnson's bookstore downtown Springfield back in like the 80s of the last century. That I still have to this day, because it was just like, it's just a pencil holder. It's just lead.
It's meaningful.
Like, that's all you need. If I at least have lead, I can draw.
Isn't that being
that's all you
held
need.
together by hopes
By
and dreams?
tape, hopes, dreams. Yes, a little bit of pixie dust.
By well
That's beautiful.
wishes.
Yeah.
Where'd you get pixie dust?
That we can't talk about that on the stream.
Okay. So we'll leave that
on
out.
this stream, like we're live streaming. On this recording interview, we do so much stuff.
We don't want to. I don't want to get killed or anything, so we'll leave the pixie dust out of it.
It's magic though with the color.
I do have one final question before we wrap this up. Yeah. So I work with the youth in the community, students all across Springfield, and a lot of them, I feel like they had this untapped potential when it comes to art. But a lot of them don't seem to want to explore that. What would you say to young budding artists, or even just your regular student who maybe doodles something on the corner of their homework? What would you say to that student to like kind of, because as you said before, mental illness and art they're intrinsic. They're intrinsically tied. And I just wanted your guys' take on that. What do you think?
Do you feel like it's not like they don't want to explore it because it's funny, I don't know if it's not being explored because the well-intentioned family members are usually like, well, you're not going to do anything with your art, so what's the point in exploring something like that? And to that I say, this is hard, but it's so worth it. And for the most part, I do, where I mostly gauge interest, especially from youth or something like that, is when we're doing community murals or community project where we get to actively engage them and they see that they're part of a bigger picture. And then it kind of opens something up within them. But I feel like right now, especially the way schools are being, there's not really a safe place to explore your creativity, and so it's important to create those spaces as much as possible. That's what I think so far.
What would you say to your younger self?
It does not work out how you planned. It does not work out at all how you planned, but it works out.
As Gabby says at least once a day, man plans, God laughs.
As we found out during the actual recording of this interview.
I would, if, man, I can't even, the things I would have said to my younger self, half of them I can't even say on screen, because, man, we would be having some words, boy.
I would have the same for my younger self.
Some words, like hardcore words, some physical violence, most likely. Man, I'd have smacked the shit out of myself. I did some stupid stuff. I didn't pay attention to certain things that now seem so obvious. Like,
but you wouldn't. You didn't know better.
Nobody does. Yeah. Nobody does. Here's my thing that I'll tell everybody. I don't care what anybody tells you. Yeah, I'm looking at you. I don't care what anybody tells you. They don't know what they're doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all making it up as we go along. We think that the people before us knew what they were doing. Look at the country right now. Nobody knows what they're doing. So don't be a dick. Just be a good person. And if you want to make art, make art. If you want to express yourself, express yourself. Don't let anybody tell you can't. I feel that you should just be you. Make art. The world needs it. The world wants it. I need it. I want it. I want it from her. I want it from you. I want it from this. I want it from him. I want a comic from him.
Now he wants a comic. He wants a podcast. He wants a lie. He's like, I want what you're giving.
I just want people to do their thing. I want them to do their thing unapologetically within those parameters of don't be a dick. Like just be good to the people next to you and support people.
All right. So yeah, this has been Gabby and Valade. Please take the time to let them know where you're at, what you got going on.
All right. Well, you can find me on Instagram at the Ivory Bunny.
Find me at Valade_Cartoonist.
And you can also find us both. Go to sootandsprinkles.com and sign up for our free monthly magazine that arrives straight to your inbox. Free digital magazine. And while you're at our website, stop by our Emporium and buy any of our set of books, My Monster, The Little Things, or Comics is a Sickness. But while you're there, please support our K family by donating and getting any of these books. These are also available to read for free at powertothepanel.com.
Powertothepanel.com.
All right, there you go. They got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So much.
Two amazing, beautiful, wonderful, talented artists. And thank you for tuning in to the Backyard interview series.
I did my best. I did my best.
And your best was fantastic.